There are so many underrated romantasy series just waiting for you to pick them up off the shelves. So today I'm doing my part and I have 5 to recommend to you. I've been obsessed with romantasy lately. I don't know what it is, but it's like pretty much the only thing I want to read. And so I figured there's more people out there like me, and I'm doing you a solid by recommending you these. Let's start with Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither. This one is so underrated to me. You may have heard of S.M. Gaither for her Song of the Mark series. These are technically within the same world. This is a duology that happens within the world, but thousands and thousands and thousands of years before. You can read them out of publication order. 100% author has confirmed they can be read. In this one, we're following our main character who her sister disappears and she's convinced that it's the gods' doing. She spent the last 5 years plotting revenge against these gods. She hates them, she despises them, she wants her sister back, and she will do anything to get her back, including making an alliance with a god. She ends up deciding to take the gods down from the inside, and so in order to that, she pretends she's loyal to the big bad fire god and makes a deal with him. And things just spiral from there. I love a deal. I don't know what it is, but if there's a deal in a book and they're like forced to act like reluctant allies to lovers, my favorite thing. I will say this is definitely hate to love. She definitely hates him. She despises the gods for what happened to her sister, and she has to overcome that in order to love him. The way they overcome it, I think, is a lot of fun. There are also trials in this story, and I really just loved the relationship between our 2 characters. You definitely don't see it until about 30% into the book. There is a lot of backstory and world building that happens in the first 30%, which I didn't love, but as soon as I got the main characters together in a room together, I was obsessed. The way they bantered, the way they talked to each other, the way they dealt with their issues, I loved so much. Also, I'm a slow burn girly, but when I get to the burn, I want it to be good. I think they were really good in this one. Some of the lines from them doing the deed are amazing. I definitely want to go back and annotate this one. I'm really, really obsessed with these 2 characters as a couple, and I cannot wait to get the second book. It's only a duology, and the second book comes out in the spring, so it's the perfect time to jump on the hype train. Also, just like look at how stunning this cover is. I love it so much. The next one I'm going to tell you to read is Heavenly Bodies by Amani Aru. Another reluctant allies to lovers. I have a theme. I just like what I like and I know what I want, and so I pick up books where I think I'm going to feel crying, screaming, throwing up emotions, and this one, I did that in this. In this, we're following a princess who has a prophecy about her. The prophecy is that she's going to fall in love with a star and they're both going to die. So we have a mighty star who doesn't want this to happen. So he comes down and he kills her entire family thinking, I'm going to make you hate me so much that you cannot fall in love with me. Which leads her to escape into a rival nation. She ends up on a rocky alliance with the prince of this neighboring country. They have to train together in order to defeat this star. And the banter in this is so good. Like, I don't know how to explain to you how much I loved the banter in this and the world building. This is based on astrology, which was something I had never seen done in this specific way, and I really loved the world building and the concept in this. This book does a lot. There are some incredible quotes in here. I literally annotated it. I'm obsessed. This is the vibe of the book that you're going to be reading. The aesthetic is right here, and it is, like, how does looking at that not make you want to pick this book up? It's so good. If you're looking for, like, fun, teasing banter, pick this one up. Let's move on to another fun Reluctant Allies to Lovers. Full of incredible banter, impeccable banter. A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark. This book is so fun. Like, I don't know how else to explain this book to you. It is entirely just fun times, full of banter, but it also, I think, has a really good plot. Do I think it's anything like super unique to the fantasy romance genre? No. However, I really loved the world building, I loved the characters, and I really, really loved them together. There are definitely some swoon-worthy moments in this book. This one follows our main character who lives in a world where when you're a child, the gods take your magic away, and then on your 25th birthday, I think it's 25, somewhere around there, they give it back to you. Now, when it comes to your 25th birthday, if they find out you've had magic and your magic never actually went away when you were a baby, this means that you are polluted and they kill you and your entire family, which is just savage. So our main character does happen to have her magic and her birthday is coming up, so she needs to escape. And when she escapes, she runs into a team of mercenaries, and they end up agreeing to help each other because she needs to leave this village and go farther than she's ever gone, and they need something that they think her magical ability can help them do. Which then leads to reluctant allies to lovers. If you love a one-horse scene, the one-horse scene in this book, chef's kiss. Just the two of them riding on that one horse together and just trying to not think about how close they are to each other is just, I listened to the audiobooks and I really liked them, so I hope you do too. This one's probably not underrated, okay? I know it's not underrated, but I love it, and I think more people need to read it. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. You know, hunted hunter, destined for each other. In this, we're following our main character who is powerless in a world where that's a death sentence. There's a lot of dying in books I like, is what I've learned. A lot of death sentences when I'm saying these all out loud. So her whole life, she has been pretending that she has powers because the king is wiping out anyone who is powerless, so no one can know. When somehow she ends up stumbling herself into these games that happen every year, in which people in powers compete for glory and wealth at the end of it. The thing is, there are no rules in this. A lot of people die. So how is she going to survive these trials? This book is similar to The Hunger Games meets Red Queen, and I really just had so much fun with this. I would say any single line our love interest says in this book is a perfect one-liner. I was squealing as I read this book. I literally just was so obsessed with the fun banter and their moments together. The world building might have some issues in my opinion, but it was just overshadowed by how much I loved the scenes of our characters together. And I truly think that this is such a fun time read that I want more people to read. Lastly, we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. Now this has been picked up traditionally, but you can pre-order it. I'm so excited for everyone to fall in love with it when they read it. I definitely will be rereading it as well. In this, we're following our main character who, when she was born, she was gifted with 5 dragons that were eternally bound to her. Her father, the king, did not like this. He didn't want someone to have so much power that they'd be able to take his throne from him, even his own daughter, so he locks her up and treats her very unfairly in order to try and break this dragon bond that seems to be unbreakable. She somehow escapes. She spends her entire life hiding from her father, but also building a kingdom for herself. When a mercenary comes along of a rival nation and says, "Listen, I've been looking for you. I want to free your dragons. I want to go on a heist. I need an alliance so that we can take your father down." And I mean, our main character wants nothing more than revenge. That's where the story starts, and these two together, I think that this leads to incredible banter because they are truly just reluctant allies to lovers. You know, in a romance, when they're really bantery and they have this fun teasing vibe, but then they get together and they're just all of a sudden also sappy. This book, they never lose their teasing. Although they definitely get a little sappier as it goes on, they never truly lose their teasing. I definitely think in the self-pub version there are some pacing issues, but I know it's going through a really hard edit right now, and when it's traditionally published, I think we are going to be obsessed with this story. Let me know down below if you plan on reading any of these, or if you have any recommendations for myself. And if you missed my first 5 fantasy romance recommendations, you can head on over to this video right here and watch them. There's some good ones in this one as well, in my opinion. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a horse emoji. Have a wonderful day.